Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Rich. Rich is from England in the UK. So let's see what Rich has to say. Enjoy the interview. Amazing. So hello Rich, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time this evening for the interview.
No, thank you for taking the time to chat as well. I do appreciate these kind of messages. It's always nice. Yeah, I was like, you know what, it's something different. So I thought I'd jump on, say hey, and see what it's all about. No, but thank you for reaching out. I do appreciate it.
So tell me how's your day going so far?
It's been good. We did a TikTok live this morning. The most successful live we've had so far, which was amazing. So that was my morning. That kind of consumed my day, to be honest. And then this afternoon, I've been working on a project that I've been working on for about 9 months now, and I had to end up going to a couple of businesses to see if we can speed it up a little bit. So that's something I've been working on today. But yeah, no, apart from that, it's been because I can't believe it's now the evening. It's like today's flown by. But yeah, what about yourself? How's your day been?
Busy, yeah, it's busy. I love being busy. I think, when the day goes in a way that keeps your mind, busy with a lot of things happening, I think it's healthy, I believe. Not too much, but I think it's healthy when you get things, on the way always. And do you go live on TikTok very often?
I do. I go live twice a day. I've been doing that. I've just signed up to an agency. It's the biggest UK agency for TikTok here. So I teamed up with them last week. And part of it's almost like an accountability to push me to do more on TikTok. I've been trying to build a brand on TikTok for a while, and I finally got picked up and recognized by a brand. So I said, you know what, let's go for it. And they've been incredible to me, to be fair. And we've had some really successful lives since it was going that way naturally anyway, but it's kind of picked up quite a lot in the last 72 hours. It's kind of gone a bit crazy, to be honest. And now I'm just getting into the flow of things and understanding how it all works, because TikTok's when you get it right, it's a really, really great app. But it's just understanding how it all works that takes a bit of time. So most of my life at the moment is very much just absorbed in TikTok, and getting that right it's been exciting. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It just takes a lot of energy and a lot of time to learn the platform. But yeah, are you on TikTok much yourself, or?
Yes, I am. Yes, my main focus is not on TikTok right now, but I'm building, a building audience now, over there is low as well. So, I've got YouTube, I've got Instagram, I've got, Facebook, another group on Facebook, TikTok. Also, it's a lot of things happening.
Amazing.
So Rich, tell me, where are you from?
So I'm from the UK. I grew up in a town called Milton Keynes. It's renowned for the Imitation Game, the movie. Actually, I grew up near Bletchley Park, which is a very well-known international place now in the world because of the movie, but was the home of the Codebreakers. I grew up literally 5 minutes from there. Although I knew about it most of my life, a lot of people in the world only found out about it a few years ago. So I've lived there, a long time. I've lived all over the world. I've done a few different things. I lived in the south of France for a little while. I've lived mostly in the UK for probably 22 years. So yeah, it's been good.
Wow, amazing. Okay, so when I was checking your profile on TikTok, that's where we got connected, and there is a phrase there that got my attention. Yeah, so let's start the interview with it. It says there, "Van life, it's not a marathon, it's a sprinter." So tell me what you mean by that.
So I have a Mercedes Sprinter long wheelbase van, and I basically put a play on words with it. And I remember about 4 years ago, because that's when I bought my van, and I bought it up, and I knew it was going to be a long project. And I basically said to myself, actually, this is a cool little play on words, and I knew it was going to take a long time. And still to this day, my project van is not finished, believe it or not. Even though it's been 4 years. And I just use that as an analogy for basically explaining the van really, and it just worked really well, and people were like, oh, I love that, that's a great sort of play on words. And yeah, it's just stuck ever since. I've not changed it in 4 years, and it's just a staple for the channel really, and everyone loves it, and it works really well.
Amazing. And do you stay just in one place, or you are kind of traveling around?
Mainly one place at the moment. About when was it? It was about a year ago. I moved in full time into my van, and I was stationed in a couple of locations, but I've since moved into a different area. So I've been up to Scotland for a little bit. I've come back down. I've gone down to Essex, London area. I've stayed down there a fair bit recently. I've just moved around. It really depends what's going on. I've been up to Derbyshire, up in the Peak Districts for a little while. I've gone down to the Jurassic Coast, down in Dorset here in the UK. So I've dotted myself around the country quite a bit, to be fair. But it just depends on what I've got planned in the social calendar, to be honest. But my main home is Milton Keynes generally, just because I have family here and it's always nice to be nearby. But I'm very aware that I do actually want to start seeing a bit more of the UK, because believe it or not, I've probably seen more of Europe than I have my own home country. So it's one of those double-edged swords.
It's amazing. I had a few guests on the show actually from different parts of the world that they are literally doing the same as you, where they are literally traveling around, they are exploring, and get to see some place and connect with people as well.
It's amazing.
Okay, Rich, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your life and also about your point of views, okay?
Cool. Go for it.
Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see where this takes us. I'm excited.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Amazing. I'm just going to play a song now just for us to relax before the first question, okay? Let's do it. Okay, so before we start the game, during the interview, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay? Okay, first question for you is, what would be the title of your memoir?
Oh, that's an amazing question. Try everything once and buy a van.
Tell me why. This name.
I think. Oh, it's such a good question. It's actually. I was sat there. I was just like, it was the first thing that popped to my head actually, and I was like, no, let's run with that. The reason is, I think a van actually gives you the opportunity to gain a bit of perspective and sort of see the world in a different way. I always say to people, once in your life, you should go hire a van and go see a place. Go visit, I don't know, Scotland, Italy. Just go. And every person I've told to do that and who has done it has had such an amazing experience, whether it be on their own, whether it be with a partner, and it's their fondest memories. And I think it just gives you that sort of lease for saying, I'm going to go out and do this and see where it takes me. And if it doesn't work out, it's not going to be the end of the world. And if you try it and you don't like it, don't beat yourself up about it. But at the same time, have a bit of try out there and see what it's like. You just don't know what that journey is going to bring. And this is coming from someone who actually has a real big case of imposter syndrome. Like, I'm really big on actually some of the stuff I've done recently has been challenged by my sort of self-doubt and actually not believing in myself more than I probably should. And since I've kind of put that on the back burner a bit and stopped listening to it as much, all of a sudden, the amount of things that have happened, it's kind of been a bit crazy. I've sort of inundated with stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, this, it's amazing when you just say yes to things more than you say no. And you'd be amazed how many opportunities kind of present themselves through that. So try everything once and buy a van actually would probably be my memoir. And I can't believe you asking that question is actually probably the most fitting thing for my life and the way I sort of see it through my lens. So but it's an incredible thing to try for anyone, even if you do it for a week and say I hate it, but at least you tried it.
Amazing. Yeah, I do believe that the power of saying yes can take you somewhere that you may maybe not expecting, or somewhere that maybe you can explore and adventure yourself. That's what I believe as well. Amazing. Next question, let's do it. Okay, Rich. Next question is, what is a negative thing that happened to you that came out as a positive thing in the end?
Can it be about anything? Anything in particular?
Anything what comes to your mind?
Oh, a few that come to my mind actually. I'll go back to a year ago actually. There was actually no, but we'll go back a bit further. We'll go back to the journey with the van. I think that's a really fitting sort of story, to be fair. And so I worked with a contractor on my van project. It was a project that I started when in 2020, and I worked with someone really closely for about 15 months on the project. And we got to a point where we realized it probably wasn't working out the way we wanted it to, and I'd spent a lot of money on this person to help me get this project over the line, and realized that in hindsight they probably weren't the right person for the job, and it cost me a lot of money. And when I tried getting my money back, there was lots of conflict, and I never actually saw a penny of that money back, and I ended up starting the whole project again from scratch, and having to literally strip out my whole van and go again. And it was one of the most challenging experiences of my life, to be fair. It was something that taught me a lot, and a lot of self-doubt, a lot of inability, but it taught me that you sometimes have to go out there and learn. When you're put in a position of uncomfortability, you actually are the most successful in terms of what you can achieve and what you can push yourself to do, because if you don't do it, no one else is going to do it for you, and people will be there by your side and support you and back you, but you've got to do it yourself. You've got to want to do the work. And I found myself in a situation where I knew that in order for me to achieve what I needed to do, it was almost a brilliant lesson in, it's always good to have those experiences where, for myself, it was quite a hard journey to van life and experiencing it for what it is today. But in those lessons that I've had, I've built an amazing community on TikTok. I've met some incredible people. I've done things that I never would have dreamed of in terms of the access to people that I've had in the last year alone has been absolutely incredible. And it was all because I started telling people about what happened and giving advice and just explaining my journey. And people have bought into probably the story, I don't know, but some of the incredible people that I've met off the back of it I really can't begin to explain how it's changed my life. But that experience has brought me here today, and I'm very grateful for those lessons that I learned. Some of them were huge lessons, especially financial lessons, but without those lessons, I wouldn't be here right now having this conversation. And I think that's the beauty of what that experience taught me. And at the time, and as hard and as challenging as it was, there's been some of the best things that have happened to me this year. And I know I couldn't see it at the time. And when you're going through a tunnel, to see out the other side is sometimes really difficult. And by no means am I out the tunnel, but I'm a hell of a way through it. I can say that for certain.
Amazing. And Rich, are you nowadays you are just working on your social media pages, or you have another job as well?
So I've got a very weird and wonderful background, to be fair. At the moment, I'm just working on my social media stuff, and it's all I've been working on really. It's a huge gamble, because obviously it gets to a point where you need to make a decision, do you keep going and do you just see where it takes you, or do you find a job and then support it on the side? But what I'm doing now is I'm actually working more. I've been applying to stuff that's specific to content creation, so I'm still learning my craft and sort of giving more expertise on that. So I've been working, I've actually been specifically working with some businesses to build their brands on TikTok and build it on LinkedIn. That's my sort of two specialisms. And then additionally to that, I've built podcasts in the past as well. So I've got a good knack for those three things. So a business that I'm soon to be working with is I'll be directly working with the founders of that company to build that and move that forward in the right direction, which I'm so excited about. It's actually something that I've wanted to shift into for a while, and it's always nice to be able to be paid to do the stuff that you want to learn more about as well. But before that, I've done all sorts of stuff over the years. I used to work on luxury super yachts, so I did that for best part of nearly 2 years. That was just before 2020. I then left that to come back to the UK. I worked in recruitment in a data science recruitment firm. So I used to recruit for AI specialists, and that was 2020 to 2022. And then I've worked in finance for a little while as a recruiter. So I worked for a lender here in the UK, and then I helped build their whole team, their whole C-suite team, and then I left that. And then I joined a sales team in a payments company here in the UK, and I did that for the last 4 months and realised it wasn't quite what I wanted, which was fine, and I acknowledged that. And then I actually realised that, I respectfully sort of bowed out and said thank you for the opportunity, but it's probably not the one for me. And now it's just myself and I just trying to work out this world of social media and build something amazing. And it does take time, but eventually the money does run out, and that's where I'm at now, where it's like, okay, what do I do? Where do I go next? And things have been working themselves out slowly. So it's I'm still excited. I'm still I'm nervous, obviously, but I've said to myself, you know what, it will work itself out. So just trying to stay as positive as possibly can, even though the anxiety does get over me sometimes about, I think with everyone though, when it comes to money, we all have those same sort of anxieties in different ways and forms, right?
Absolutely. I think when, I think if you'd be just beautiful skies, flowers, and everything is going the right direction, something would be wrong. I think those up and downs moments, they are necessary for sure.
Absolutely.
Great. Next question. Let's do it. So before the next question, tell me, what's the biggest joy of living a van? What do you find the most joy of it? And the flip side, what's the biggest challenge so far that you've been facing?
I love sharing this van with other people. Like, I love going on journeys with other people. Like, I love taking people for a trip somewhere and having company on trips, and just having someone to chat to while you're driving, and actually being, be able to share the experience and share the space with someone else is actually quite amazing. It's or a group of friends, like the amount of times where I've had people like sit outside the van and just have conversations, and just be able to go in and grab something. And I let it, although it is my home, like I welcomingly let people into it, and the people that I have in my life are incredible, and I'm very warming to people coming in, chatting about it. And I think that's probably one of the most beautiful things that's come out of this. Like I think of some of the memories I've had in this van just in this year alone, and I sit there and go, wow, like I really am, like I have to look back on the year and go, you've got to look at these memories for what they are. Like, they are incredible. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things is sharing it with friends and family, and just going out there and using it for what it's there for. And I've really made the most of it this year. I'd like to argue, I'd like to say I want to do more with it, but I think, to be fair, when I look back on the year and reflect, I've done pretty good, to be fair, like all things considered. I think the flip side to that as a challenge definitely comes to the cold. Last winter was really hard, and I'm really not looking forward to this winter. I'm trying to find a way to escape to somewhere else in the world, but I think I'm just going to have to knuckle down and try and just make it through, and see what happens. I think I'm bracing myself for a very, very cold winter here in the UK, but I'll try and make it work. I could do some upgrades to make it easier so it's not as cold. But it just is like anything, it just takes a bit more like money and time. And sadly, at the moment, money is a bit of a limit, so I can't really do the upgrades that I need to do. But I'm sure in a bit of time it will work itself out. But yeah, I think the biggest challenge for me is the cold, for sure. I think that's probably the easiest answer to give. It can be very grueling, but it doesn't, it just depends on how you manage it. And I live in the space full time, so when in the mornings I wake up, although it is the best night's sleep I will ever have, the feeling of getting up and you've got a button cold nose and you're like you're shaking, it's as blissful as it is, and you're in the covers and you're nice and warm, the dread of getting out of that bed for the first time, there's nothing more like just that you just sat there like shivering away. So yeah, there's pros and cons. I think that's probably one of the biggest cons for sure.
Amazing. Next question is, what is your favorite guilty pleasure TV show?
Oh, I have, actually, I haven't watched it in a while. I got back into the Clone Wars from Star Wars recently. I haven't watched it in a year. I actually didn't finish the series in the end, but I've been rewatching some of the earlier series because it's just mindless, just like you can enjoy it. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, as you can, I don't know if you can see it from here, but I am a massive Star Wars fan. So I be able to sit down and just switch off. It's a 25-minute episode. You can just watch it and just sort of switch off from the world. And the other one that I really enjoyed that was really good, I actually have to rewatch it, but I just never find the time to sit down and, when you've got so much going on, I find it sometimes hard to just switch off from the world. That's why I absorb myself in TikTok. I don't even use YouTube as much anymore, and I used to use it all the time. But the Fallout series that came out on Amazon Prime, absolutely loved it. It was a massive Fallout fan of the games, and both were amazing series overall. And I got to the end of it and I was like, wow, that was incredible. And the rewatchability of that is pretty good. But I think those two are pretty big. I'm trying to think of another one, but probably from my childhood it would have been Friends. I was a big Friends fan. I recite that not on the day. I used to recite it on the daily, not so much anymore. But if I had those three in some way, shape, or form, they're pretty good.
Who is your favorite character on Star Wars?
No one's actually ever asked me that question, ever. Oh my god. He's new to the franchise, but I think he's absolutely awesome. Andor. I think Andor is a brilliant character, really well developed. They've done probably the best, one of my top 5 series ever watched, actually, in terms of like storytelling. Andor is a brilliant character, really well written, and it really informed Rogue One, the movie. And Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie. I think they just did a brilliant job of that whole series. I think Andor is just a good all-round character that they brought into the universe, and I'm really glad they did it.
Amazing, very good. I have 2 questions left. Okay, let's do it. Hey, next question is, what is the soundtrack of your life and why?
I've got the answer straight away. Dion Wanderer. And it's a brilliant song. And the main line is, I'm never in one place, I roam from town to town. And it's actually a really well designed work, because it's sort of the song itself brings into like the freedom of movement and free spirited, and just feeling like you can be yourself and go out, you can have fun, you can see the world, but it also it brings into this element of that I'm kind of a bit of a lone wanderer sometimes, and like, although I love having company and I love having that, I kind of also do my own thing, and I'm not always I'm always around for my friends and stuff like that. I'm always at the end of the phone. I always say that to them, but also there's a part of me that is just like, I'm gonna go do this and I'll see you all later kind of thing, and everyone's like, that's very on cue for you, Rich, to be like that. So Dion Wanderer is definitely me in a nutshell. It's a brilliant song, and it really is a cue for my life.
When you think about yourself, Rich, when you analyze yourself, what's the biggest joy of being you? What do you like the most about being Rich?
I love it when I help people. I love it when I do something for someone and it brings a joy to their day. When someone, I think it comes from a place of the caring, like a very caring person, and I give a lot of time to people, and I love that I give that as my part. I think that's probably the big thing I love about myself, is that caring for others is a big part of my life, and I really want to be able to give a lot to people. Sometimes that takes a toll because I don't give more to myself. But at the same time, my ability to be able to give a lot to others is something that I really do cherish quite a lot in my character and my nature. And it's amazing when that's you see that in the way that others respond as well. Quite great. There's some people in my life I'm so grateful for at the moment who really have started to show that, and it's reflective in the way they are with me. And could not be more grateful for some of the people in my life at the moment. So it's yeah, it's quite an interesting question. I've never actually been asked it in that way before. So yeah, no, I really appreciate that question.
Which person you're in your life right now you feel more connected with, feel more close to?
Do you know, I've only known them. I've known of them for less than a year, but I know them as like on a real personal level in the last 6 to 7 weeks. And I was in a really sort of just not in a great headspace about 7, 8 weeks ago, and something happened, and I was just really not in a good place at all. And they ended up sitting with me for a whole evening and just sat with me. Didn't say much, just sat with me, and they just listened, and they gave advice, but mostly they just sat there. And it was a really beautiful moment, because I look back on that, and normally I would look back on those moments and be like, oh, dreading, like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have done this. But in that moment, I learned that this person was going to have my back, and this person was going to support, like, be there for me when I needed them. And we ended up talking more and more and more, and they have become such an amazing person in my life that have helped me with so much little things. And even whether it be a motivational message on a morning, or just being there for me when I don't even not even thinking about stuff that's going on, and they'll just send me a message saying like, "Thank you're amazing," or "You've got this today." Just little things like that. And it's been, I've lived in a world where I've not really had that as much as I probably needed, and kind of was searching for that. And it was really weird how I found that. It kind of came at a place where I probably wasn't myself at all. I was very quiet, very subdued, and it came from a place where, when you're at a very interesting point in your life where you're not too sure where you're going and you're trying to find direction, life gives you strangers, and those strangers end up becoming your friends and being the ones that are there for you. And I hand on heart say that person's going to be in my life for the rest of my life. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing that's happened. And there's a quote that I read recently that said, when your friends aren't available, the universe gives you strangers. And it's a really, really powerful quote, and it's so true. And if I look at the universe right now and what it's given me from that perspective recently, like I can't thank it enough, really. And some of the opportunities that it's I've put out there, and it's turned into some beautiful things. So I really can't thank them more, to be fair.
Amazing. I can see this person smiling right now after those beautiful words.
I hope so too. I will send them this when this clip's done. I will send them it for sure.
Last question, ready?
Yeah, I'm going to go for it.
Let's do it. Last one. Last question is, where do you see yourself living when you retire?
Somewhere warm. Somewhere warm. Yeah. End of my life, I would love to be somewhere where I have people around me, where I've got a beach in my head at the moment. I've just got a beach. I don't know where that beach is, but there's a beach there, and a little house with a dog. I think that would be a nice place to be. If it goes there, then amazing. But at the same time, yeah, as long as the way I see it as well is like, by the time I retire, as long as I've seen a lot of the world, if not all of it, as much as I possibly can, whether that is counted as nations or whatever that might be, I would really like to say that I've done a lot in my life. I think that's one thing that is really important to me, and how that looks from a retirement point of view, I don't know. But yeah, the aim is definitely to see as much of the world as possible in the next however many years I have left.
Amazing. Okay, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with money.
Is it for quick fire, or is it like just a
just one word? Okay. Just one word. Yeah.
Required.
Okay. Fear.
Anxiety.
Family.
Everything.
Life.
Ooh, it's deep. Hurtful.
Love.
Passion.
Sex.
Oh, interesting question. Why am I struggling with this one?
No right or wrong.
Flair.
Huh?
Flair.
Okay. Religion.
Powerful.
Politics.
Debating.
Friendship.
I've already used it once, but everything.
One word for desire.
Want.
Regret.
Don't.
Success.
Mountains.
Wish.
A dream.
Happiness.
Excitement.
One word for England.
Home.
And the last one now, van life, one word.
What was that, sorry?
Van life.
Freedom.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet this person you mentioned in the interview, someone who became special for you. And if I would ask them to define you in one positive word and one negative word only, what this person would say?
Kind.
Positive and negative?
Positive, definitely.
And a negative one?
And a negative one. Cocky.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, but they mean it in a really heartfelt way. They would have it would have been mean in because the banter we have, it's like I'll make a comment, but she'll know I mean it in a really jokey way. So it's but she will say it something like that, but she means it she'll mean it with the best intention, I know.
Let's play now, Rich, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before you ask me the question, people watch this interview right now. Would you like to start adventure like you did? You know what I mean? Like a van life. Start this adventure that you started. What would be your best piece of advice?
Pay cheap, pay twice, which basically means if you pay a very little for your vehicle, you will pay twice in the repairs. And if you pay cheap for your service, you will pay cheap. You're not going to get the best quality. This is a very double-barreled sort of saying, and it's something that's really stuck out to me because for a vehicle that I paid very little for, I have paid over the odds in repairs and mistakes and stuff like that. So to anyone listening, just if you pay cheap, you pay twice. It's a really, really important thing, and it echoes off the back of making sure you do your research. So it comes from a place of just experience, that one.
Amazing. Okay, Rich, you can ask me a question now.
What makes you tick?
Wow, I love the question. And you know what? Over 1,000 interviews on the show so far. I don't think anyone ever asked me this question. Right. So for me, it's a very easy answer for you. Waking up every single morning. I'm an early bird. Yeah, I love waking up very early. And for one reason or another, I always feel like, the best energy of my day is in the morning. As soon as I wake up, as soon as I have my shower, as soon as I, get out of home, I don't know, this fresh air. There's something about that time when I leave home that gives me the best feeling, of a new day starting. So yeah, very easy answer for you. I would say waking up every morning, knowing that I'm gonna have a day full of challenges, full of happiness, full of sadness, could be anything. And I think the fact that I'm gonna be ready for it, or sometimes not ready, but I'm gonna face it. So that's feeling of waking up every morning makes me, feel very grateful and happy as well.
Amazing.
Cool. Did you enjoy the interview, Rich?
I did. That was awesome. Thank you so much. That was you made me think about things that I haven't really thought about in a while. and yeah, it opens up perspective, like especially like things that just the way you ask the questions as well. It's like just things you don't always think about, and I'm really glad that I said yes to doing it, because it just the approach, the friendliness, the conversation that I've not felt like I've done interviews like this before in the past. I'm normally quite a very confident person, but or at least I seem like I am, and I'm glad that in the way in which you've spoken and being, it's made it much easier just to free flowing conversation. And that's something that, like, I normally, when I do these type of things, I quite a lot, and I know I do still, but like I'm more consciously aware of it, and when I'm in my flow, I don't really think about it, and you allowed that to sort of come out quite a lot. So in the sense that, no, I wasn't really like nervous about, I wasn't going, what do I say? I noticed I did it sometimes, but like not as much as I normally would. So no, thank you so much for just taking the time to chat and no, reaching out. I really appreciate it.
The pleasure is all mine. I think it's very interesting and very inspiring to see you. I've been watching your videos on TikTok, and you are full of energy. You know this feeling when I told you that to wake up every morning and I feel the greatest? I can see on you when you are doing your lives, when you are there expressing yourself for your, you know, your journey, you know, living a van. I think it's amazing to see. So carry on, and good luck with this journey. You know, new people crossing your path, as I can see your eyes shining, talking about people coming to, you know, into your life. And that's what life is about. It's about for you to enjoy the journey and take how it comes. I think that's beautiful.
If you, with that said, that the best bit out of this, that for me, was what would be a memoir of your life. Try everything once and buy a van. I would love that clip. Please send it. If any of the clips that you think are really good, I would love to have them, and put like that clip for me. That's literally like, if I'm going to write a book at some point, and I'm going to call it that. Like, so the fact that you've, in just talking to you as an interviewer, and that's come out, is quite like powerful. So I really appreciate you for just chatting. It's been amazing.
Amazing. Before you go, Rich, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Ooh. There's a graph that I saw that I've lived by for a little while now, and it's imagine like this, and this is the top, and then it does this, and it goes like that. And there's a saying that goes, and I'll try and demonstrate it in a thing. It goes, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And the way it works is essentially, it's the top of the graph, that there's like stretch between the different points in the, and it's really beautiful art. Like the way it's orchestrated is so stunning, because it illustrates that not every bad moment is going to be there forever, and you will come through the other side, and you will persevere, and you will be stronger, you will be better, you will shine out the other side of it as a much better version of the previous self that you were. And if you can see that, as hard as it is sometimes, you will get there. And this is coming from someone who has literally just been at the top of the graph, gone down the bottom and back up the other side. And if you can see through that and push yourself, and just know you're going to if you back yourself, more importantly, you will get there, and it will pass for sure.
For sure. And enjoy the journey as well, even though
absolutely. I think that's absolutely it. And if you enjoy the journey, you will see what comes next. And when you enjoy the journey, it comes with the most amazing opportunities that your future self could only just wish they could tell you. If your future self could tell you what's coming up, they would be like, oh my God, if I could speak to my 17-year-old self right now and say to him, in the next 10 years, you're going to do all this, here at now 27, and you're going to do all these amazing things, and that's what it's going to look like, I would be absolutely ecstatic as a 17-year-old today. I would be over the moon of excitement. And yeah, just about putting yourself out there and having fun. And just, as I said, try everything once and buy a van.
Amazing. Thanks so much. Regards to your friends and family, and you keep in touch. It was a pleasure having you on the show. Okay, Rich?
William, thank you so much for today. I really appreciate it. Have a fantastic evening, and wish all the love to you and your family as well.
Take care. Have a good night.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.